Accounting 101 quiz number 2. There is a quiz number 1 that I will link in the description if you want to take that, if you have not taken that. This is 10 multiple choice questions and answers with explanations. You're going to have 15 seconds to answer each question. And then I want to know in the comments section below, how many did you get right? Did you get 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 3 out of 10? Let me know how you did, and good luck on the accounting quiz. Let's go to question number 1. What is a characteristic of an intangible asset? A, physical structure. B, raw materials. C, lacks physical substance. Or D, personal property. The answer is C. It lacks physical substance. An intangible asset is a non-physical asset that provides future economic benefits. This can include copyrights, licenses, software, patents, books of business, trademarks, etc. Question number 2. Jackson Enterprises invoices Nakatomi Inc. for Christmas party decorations and catering for an end-of-year party. To record the invoice, Jackson Enterprises accounting team will record what journal entry to recognize the invoice? A, debit cash, credit revenue. B, debit accounts receivable, credit revenue. C, debit revenue, credit cash. D, debit revenue, credit accounts receivable. The answer is B. You're going to debit accounts receivable and credit revenue. The entry to record a sales invoice will be to debit accounts receivable and credit revenue. This is accrual-based accounting. You're recognizing the revenue at the time of service, not necessarily when you receive the cash. Question number 3. Skynet Enterprises buys annual software licenses on January 1st, 2026. The software licenses cost $120,000. The licenses are initially recorded as a prepaid asset. On January 31st, 2026, how much does Skynet Enterprise recognize as an expense? A, $120,000. B, $5,942. C, $10,000. Or D, they do not recognize an expense. The answer is C, $10,000. The math here is the software licenses cost $120,000 and they're good for 12 months. So we're going to amortize, aka expense, $10,000 of the licenses per month. So when Skynet Enterprises is doing their month-end accounting, they're going to expense $10,000 of the software licenses in the January close. Prepaid expenses are expensed from the balance sheet to the income statement once the expense has been incurred. Question number 4. Sister Slime LLC owes performance-based bonuses to its sales team as of 12/31/2026. The company has not paid out the bonuses, but this sales team has fully earned them. What is the journal entry to record the bonuses? A, debit bonus expense, credit accounts receivable. B, debit bonus expense, credit bonus payable. C, debit bonus payable, credit bonus expense. Or D, debit bonus payable, credit accounts payable. The answer is B. You're going to debit bonus expense and credit bonus payable. To accrue year-end bonuses, you're going to debit bonus expense, which is on the income statement, and you're going to credit bonus payable, which is on the balance sheet. Since these bonuses have been earned by the sales team and we're on an accrual basis of accounting, we need to recognize the bonus expense in this period and not necessarily when the cash gets paid out. If you've gotten any value out of this video so far, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. Okay, let's go on to question number 5. Chris P. Bacon buys equipment with no salvage value for $50,000. Based on the useful life, it's a 5-year fixed asset. If the purchase happened on July 1st, 2026, how much straight-line depreciation should Chris P. Bacon recognize in fiscal year 2026? A, $50,000, B, $10,000, C, $5,000, D, 0. The answer is C, $5,000. The math works out like this: $50,000 for the fixed asset, and its useful life is 5 years, and there's no salvage value. So we take the $50,000 divided by 5 years, and you're going to have $10,000 of depreciation per year if you use straight line depreciation. Now, we bought this mid-year in July, so we're going to take our $10,000 of depreciation, multiply it by 6 out of 12 months, 50% of the year, and we have $5,000 of depreciation for 2026. Now, straight line depreciation, just as a reference, spreads out the cost evenly over the asset's useful life. Question number 6. Treasury stock represents A, stock issued and outstanding, B, retained earnings used for dividends, C, the par value of stock, or D, stock repurchased from shareholders. The answer is D. It's stock repurchased from shareholders. Treasury stock are shares that are repurchased by the company, which ultimately reduces the number of shares outstanding. These shares have been issued, but then the company goes back and buys them from the shareholders. Question number 7. What does EBITDA stand for? A, earnings before intangibles, taxes, debt, accruals. B, earnings before interest, taxes, debt, accruals. C, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, accruals. D, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. The answer is D, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. EBITDA represents a simple way to determine a company's profitability and cash flow by excluding non-cash expenses, financing charges like interest, and government charges like taxes. Question number 8. What accounting principle states that any revenue earned during an accounting period should have a corresponding expense recognized in that same accounting period? A, full disclosure, B, matching principle, C, objectivity principle, or D, historical cost principle. The answer is B. It's the matching principle. The matching principle states that any revenues recognized in an accounting period should have the related expenses recognized in that same accounting period. Arnold cuts a check to his accountant to cover tax services, bookkeeping, and personal property tax returns. The amount owed is $1,500, and it was previously entered as an open accounts payable invoice. What is the journal entry in Arnold's accounting system to recognize the check that is cut to pay his accountant? A, you would debit cash, credit revenue. B, you would debit cash and credit expense. C, debit accounts payable, credit cash. Or D, debit expense, credit revenue. The answer is C. You're going to debit accounts payable and credit cash when you cut the check. When paying an invoice entered through accounts payable, when you go to pay the invoice, your accounting system will debit accounts payable because you've already entered the invoice into the system, which is debiting the expense, crediting accounts payable. So when you go to actually pay the invoice, you're just going to relieve the payable, debit accounts payable, and credit cash for actually sending cash to pay the invoice, since we're using accrual-based accounting. All right, don't give up yet. This is question number 10. We're at the very end. John Kimball receives a payment for his detective services. He invoiced his client $10,000, which was recorded in the general ledger. What will be the journal entry to record payment received for the invoice? A, debit cash for $10,000, credit revenue for $10,000. B, debit revenue for $10,000, credit cash for $10,000. C, you don't need a journal entry at all. D, you debit cash for $10,000 and credit accounts receivable for $10,000. The answer is D. We're going to debit cash for $10,000 and we're going to credit accounts receivable for $10,000. Since we've already invoiced our client, when we invoiced the client, we debited accounts receivable for the invoice and we credited revenue for the services that we performed. Now the client is paying us. We're going to debit cash that we have received and we're going to credit accounts receivable to relieve the receivable for those services. All right, that's our Accounting 101 quiz number 2. Let me know in the comments section how many you got correct. And I hope you enjoyed this quiz. If you haven't taken quiz number 1, link is in the description to take quiz number 1. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Take care and goodbye.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.